We meet again, sir.
I can't believe it. 2 days in a row. It's my wife's gonna start wondering what's going on, right?
Oh God, they wonder what's been going on for a good 4 years now. Hello, everybody. Second day in a row. Good to see y'all. Who else here? Who has a repeat performance?
I see a lot of
Scott,
friends. I
Cindy,
see
Thomas,
Dan
Ron, Tina.
Strauss,
Awesome.
Dana. Dana's one of my favorites. You're all my favorites, but if I actually call you my
Oh, wait, I
favorite,
was gonna
you're
say we're
more
gonna
my
start calling
favorite.
favorites. Don't do that.
They're
Get
more
me
my
get
favorite if I actually say my name. Emilio.
mad.
Love me, Emilio. Egal's there. Longtime supporter and friend. Jenny. Jenny's one of our newer ones. And Jerry, of course, the famous Mr. Mauer has made it.
Yesterday's replay. Could probably throw that link in the chat if you want to, Todd. No need to mention it again, but just throw the link in the chat. Wicked good. Wicked laugh, Todd. Yeah, that's that sinister laugh, huh?
For
Back for more.
you want to put yesterday's
Just
replay
throw,
in the
yeah, throw in the chat just for those that have that question.
sure.
All
And
right.
I got Kevin Jenkins. I always love seeing Kevin's name there.
Indeed. Dana Sharon Thomas,
Yeah.
Jerry Craig, what's going on? Hey, 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 hey. Glad to see you all here. This one shouldn't be a real long webinar, but we'll do some Q&A. And at the end, this one's pretty short as far as presentations go. It's more really is informational. There's a lot of questions about what this is and how it works and that kind of stuff. But it's at the hour. So last night we went a little afterwards, but we've got I think we got a good number here, and of course we'll be able to do the replay for folks on this one. So what we're gonna do is a short 5-second break that's some dead air. So you didn't lose us, but that dead air allows us to get a clean break for the edit for later on. So we'll pause for a couple seconds here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar on Wholesale Inspector. We're very excited to share this information with you because it's a long time in the making. Todd and I joke about that. Oh, we're so excited to be here. Yeah, that's overused, but we really are excited in this case, again, because of the nature of the conversation. We're talking about Wholesale Inspector, and this is a tool that has been quite literally a decade in the making. In internet parlance, a decade beyond a lifetime. I mean, the way technology moves and things move nowadays, 10 years to build something or iterate, that means you're getting something pretty fantastic. And I think you'll agree after seeing numbers and the tool itself, you'll see this has got some legs to it, and it's a fun thing to discuss. So without further ado, let's get rolling. Wholesale Inspector, the crux of it, find better products and sort a whole volume of data. It's really never been easier. At the end of this, we're going to show you some actual real numbers of products, lines of code, UPCs, if you will, that have been run through the tool. The numbers are hard to wrap our head around. I mean, they really are. They're staggering. So we'll get to that at the end, but this really is over a decade in the making. It allows you to sort tens of thousands of products. The whole idea of the wholesale model or the buy box model or working with distributors, whatever we're calling that, those terms all mean basically the same thing, in that we're going to a distributor that has a list of products. Usually that list of products has UPCs or codes with it, and we want to comb through that, find those needles in the haystack, right? Find the profitable things and sell them. Buy something for $1, sell it for $2. Not much more than that. You want to be able to do things like save and share your search filters. Through the years, we found out, hey, someone's got a hook or a line on something that really works for, I've got some search filters I'd like to use, or I want to reuse them or get them to an outsourcer or share them with somebody else. Great functionality there. We'll show you that. The ability to schedule some files. When you're doing the wholesale or the buy box model, being able to automate things, what a great tool. Yep, put that in there too. Really rapidly find the high demand stuff. Find things that people are buying. I mean, there's so many models out there going, well, try to find profitable products. Get something people buy. Okay, that's kind of the right concept, but pretty nebulous in nature. And how the heck do you find stuff? Well, let some software do it. Let it be done programmatically. Drag and drop stuff, super easy interface. I'll show you that live. So some of the problems: quickness, profitability, high demand, easy, and automated. The speed, really want something to move fast. Don't have a lot of time. You got to find profitable stuff. There's not enough hours in the day to mess around with products that aren't going to make you money. I mean, we could spend a whole lot of time in our lives doing things that really aren't making the business profitable, generating revenue. High demand, same thing I just mentioned. Got to have stuff that sells. Easy to do. You don't want a PhD to run this stuff. You want something you can do, and then ultimately, as you scale your business, you don't want to be doing it. You want to pass it off to someone else, an outsourcer, someone on your team. You don't want to have to give them a manual of 100 pages to say, learn this and get back to me in 2 months when you know it. It wants to be pretty intuitive, and then automate this stuff. Get it done repeatedly. Fastest product analyzer on the market, hands down. We commit to about 10,000 products per minute. Show you real-time numbers. It's way faster than that. But the programmers always, the developers tend to be a little bit more risk averse. Dude, don't say it runs too fast, because when it doesn't run that fast, we want people to hold us to it. I get it. So I'll show you some real-time stuff, but thousands and thousands of products per minute. So the profitable stuff, Wholesale Inspector is going to analyze thousands of data points. And what it's going to kick out is the best guess at, hey, that list of 50,000 UPCs you sent, you should probably look at these 100, and that's it. Can you imagine going through a list of 50,000 items to cut and paste and search and crunch data when something you can do it in about 2 minutes? High demand stuff. You want to get a sense of, hey, is this thing actually selling? Of the 50,000, you found 100. That's kind of cool. But is anyone buying those 100? I mean, the math kind of checks out. Yeah, we want to do that at the same time. Gonna do that in the tool. You want it to be simple, as we said. Yeah, pretty dang simple. The early iterations of this, and we'll discuss it a little more later, and Todd's got his stories related to that, but the early versions a decade ago were really spreadsheet driven. They were fine. They worked. They were functional. The form, fit, and function of software sometimes in the early days is clunky. It was like banging two rocks together, but it did the job, got it done. Now we understand we don't want to spend time in dealing with different spreadsheets and uploading stuff and downloading stuff and sharing things all over the place. Just drag it and drop it, make it very user friendly. Did that. And then the automate part, so good to automate things, to be able to say, look, just do that same task. You did that task. How about you just do it again and do it again and do it 5 times in a week? Okay, sure. So we really wanted to create something and develop something now that's allows you to grow that wholesale business and make it the only tool that you need. This tool was really born from the idea that let's get something simple that everybody can use. Those that had been familiar with this tool, it used to be called the UPC tool, used to be behind a paywall. The only way you could access this thing and the power of the technology behind it was you needed to be a member in our community, and that was it. No one could get their hands on this without a pretty sizable investment, and that's fine. Biggest part of that was the training. It was a little bit clunky, totally functional, but it wasn't super intuitive to say, let me just jump in here and use this thing. The great news is we've done that to get away from the bigger price tag and let more people use it to grow that wholesale business. We see the opportunity. We know that the Amazon platform is not going anywhere, and we know that there are more and more people every day that are saying, I really, really want to break free from whatever I'm doing and change my lifestyle, earn some more income, whatever I'm doing. The wholesale model makes a lot of sense. Sure. So we want to find those profitable products fast. So a few people have asked in the past on some other tools that are out there, people have seen before. There's some marketed names out there called this, related to us. Just the comparison side by side. The UPC tool, for example, the original version, it was web-based, but it wasn't as quick as what we're talking about now, and you had to do a lot of file manipulation. The Excel allergy. Spreadsheets. Some people really love spreadsheets, and if you love spreadsheets, good for you. I don't. So it became a little bit more challenging to work with that. Speed is just improved by far. And then Wholesale Inspector really provided more data points. We're going to show that to you live, because when you come down to the data you have to look at with what Amazon provides us, what distributors provide us, what the market gives us, sometimes, a lot of times, it's good information, but it's too much noise. I think, and I won't do a stump speech on this, but nowadays with our access to information, probably one of the most valuable things is weeding out the information we don't need. settling down on the points that make the most sense. I don't need to know everything there is to know about this. What we're talking about when we're really growing a business, if we boil things down to their very base level, can I earn a profit on this? Is the return on my investment good enough? And that's really all that kind of matters. If I spend money here, can I quickly enough get profit back there? That's it. So Profit Hunter, someone may have heard of that or used that tool in the past. This one's substantially faster. Wholesale Inspector also really lets you do a deeper dive, more data points. It's a year later version of that, better version of that, and it allows you to take off your training wheels. And I've got an extra and on there. Ignore it. So it lets you take off your training wheels and do a deeper dive. You really want to do that analysis that's beyond just what you got, that is totally functional in other tools, worked great. But as anything, as I joked about at the beginning of the presentation, a year in computer programming time is a long time. So the new version is the new version, and it's Wholesale Inspector, and it is far, far better. Let me show you the engine. This is the behind the scenes part taken this morning, actually, of 24-hour stats of behind the scenes. You guys don't see this. This is the dashboard of what we're running. What we get to see to make sure everything's healthy and operating and things are going well. Have a look at this. 24 hours, 9,771,000 lines, products run in a 24-hour period. That's pretty absurd, okay? 30-day, 279 million. We want to talk about lifetime. I mentioned at the beginning, the numbers are hard to wrap my head around. And Todd and I tend to be a little bit shucks about things that we do, things that we've done in the past, but dang, man, that number, 5.2 billion, is a really, really big number. That's big in astronomical scales. To have a program do that in recent history is alarming to talk about. So you've got the brains and the power of an engine that is doing some seriously heavy lifting. And what's happening here behind the scenes is all the data crunching to provide you the benefit of better analysis, faster analysis, more deeper dive. And that also represents how much data you really want to run through in order to run quite a profitable wholesale business. That represents, geez, I could do this on myself. And the funny thing is, I do hear people sometimes with that. Well, why can't I just do that myself? I could pay money for a tool to do it. You can, man. Rock that 5.2 billion products. You just cut and paste. That's some right clicking, seriously right clicking going on there. So again, even forget about lifetime. Let's go back to the 24 hours. If you want to run 9 million lines of code, that's cool. Cut and paste all those things. Totally fine with it. So I'm being silly, but you get the point. 5.2 billion products. That's the power you've got in this tool. And we have made some changes recently to shore things up. Behind the scenes, this, not to go too far into it because it's kind of inside talk, but we'll give everybody listening some inside talk. We speak to Amazon virtually with what's called API calls. We have to have conversations with Amazon. And when you're doing 5.2 billion lines of stuff, you don't go unnoticed. They know we're out there, and we need to stay above board, compliant, and everything else like that. Of course we do. That's exactly what we want to do. The funny thing is, a lot of tools that are out there do things like scraping things or find ways to sort of backdoor stuff. Man. A, don't do that. And B, can't do that. When you're on the radar screen and really running in good graces with Amazon and saying, look, this is what we're doing for people, and we've had conversations with folks there, and they dig what's happening, they see what's happening, and that is the best spot to be, in the spotlight with those folks to say, yep, got it, thumbs up, you guys are doing awesome, cool. That's all we need to know, because when we're doing that kind of stuff, that means you as sellers are doing well, you are doing some serious business within Amazon, and seller fees are quite nice for Amazon. Everybody in that nice system wins. So 5.2 billion. The speed, I mentioned speed. We said 10,000 products per minute. That's roughly what programmers, our lead developers, saying, yeah, stick to that. Okay. 2 minutes for 54,000 lines, 2 minutes for 54. So that's 2.5 times more than the 10K suggestion. And you can see that repeated a few times, and ran that through a few times to test it. 2.07 minutes, 2.67 minutes, 1.87 minutes. So you're averaging about 25,000 products per minute. Nobody can touch those metrics. There's nobody that you can say, oh, what about that tool? Those guys, sure, man, take a crack at it. Go ahead, run 54,000 products and see if it takes 2 minutes. We've tested it with other folks in the past. Not going to name names, doesn't matter. We're not in that business, but it did take 19 hours. So 2 minutes, 19 hours, carry the one. Yeah, 2 minutes is faster than 19 hours. So just keep that in mind when you're talking about speed of execution there. You want to comb through a lot of data, find the profitable products, sell them, and make money. That's the business we're in. So enough talk, enough presentations. Let's do some live stuff and then kind of over the shoulder thing and ask some questions as we go here, and we'll do a little bit of Q&A, and hopefully that gives a little bit more insight into the broad 30,000 foot view. Let's get into what it actually looks like. And meanwhile, Todd can share a few stories on how it came to be, and really he's the brains or impetus behind this. So Todd, if you want to switch presenters to you grab it and rock and roll.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Just want to make sure. Can you hear me? Did I come on clean?
You're all good. I can hear you, so that means hopefully everybody else can. We'll see. Yep, gotcha.
All right, and then we're gonna find out if I'm showing the right screen or not this time.
Let's see.
We should be looking at the
Yep, all good.
Okay, looks good. All right. And you know what Chris was saying brought back a lot of memories because and one thing that he didn't mention that I take a lot of pride in is we were the first people to do this. I mean, I was back in, oh my gosh, how long has it been now? It's been a while. I came up with this whole concept of automating the inventory files from suppliers versus online sites like Amazon, okay? And the very first time we did it was with a rogue programmer, I think out of the Ukraine, and it was clunky. It was one of those pieces of software that you have to download, install on your computer, hope your computer's running okay, that you have a super fast internet connection, and you would load up your file and literally plan on coming back the next day. That's how it was on day one. And what's really interesting is that some of the major competitors right now still do that. That's their approach to solving this problem. Well, that didn't work for me very long because we found out we needed to be processing a lot of files, and the faster we could do it and the more accurate the data was and not having to rely on the strength of our own computers was key. So, you know, what you're about to see today, you know, really does feel like a child, if you will, because we gave birth to this so long ago. We've seen it change, we've watched it grown up, and we're just really, really proud of it. All right, so anyway, the screen you're looking at right now is what you get after you log in. And it's very, very simplistic. All you have to do is drag and drop to run a supplier file. So I'm gonna grab one of my supplier files.
While you're doing that, Todd, can I ask you one favor? If you could just do I think on Apple, open Apple and Plus, bring your screen up a little larger.
Oh, sure, hold on.
Zoom in, I couldn't, aphasia, I think, I'm getting older. Zoom in, there we go. Jeez, Chris, yeah.
Is that better?
That's perfect, thank you so much.
No worries. All right, now let me figure out where you made me drop my supplier file. There it is, hold on. Okay, so I'm just bringing over a UPC file basically, all right? And for those of you not familiar with it, it's nothing more than what your supplier gives you. And what's really cool about Wholesale Inspector is it doesn't matter what format the supplier gives you that file. It doesn't matter what order the columns are in. It doesn't matter what the column headings are, and you're gonna see why in a second. So I'm just dragging a file over from a supplier and I popped it in there. You see how, oh my gosh, did you see how fast it just gobbled it right up? So now look what's going on here right now. All right, we're creating what's called a file map. This is the representation of the file that I just dropped in, and it shows the column headings and a little bit of the information. So what Wholesale Inspector is doing, and by the way, you only have to do this one time, all right? The very first time for that supplier, you're gonna tell Wholesale Inspector what each column is. So it's wanting to know, hey, which column is the identifier? which is like the UPC code or ASIN or whatever that. And we're saying, well, our barcodes, our UPCs are in column A. So we select that. Then we go over and wholesale inspectors over here, looking at us and going, where's the cost? Well, the cost that we're going to pay is in column B, right? So you let it know. So you can kind of get an idea that it doesn't matter where these columns are at. You're just telling wholesale inspector. The item number is the same as the supplier SKU. That's column C. My titles, I'll go with the catalog name here, column D. They're all kind of falling in place here. I don't have a map. I'm going to leave that alone. I don't have my stock in here. I just have another long description. I could make that custom if I wanted to, but I'm going to go with ABCD right now. I just care about this. So once you've created this map, and this is from a Frontier, a wholesaler named Frontier. Once you've created this map, it's going to save your map file, all right? And then it's going to start processing it. It's almost done, actually. It's running around 20,000 products a minute. And then on the last couple of percentages, it's going to just go back and make sure everything's good. Looks like we have 3,461 products that it's working on. But once you've done a Frontier file, and by the way, it just finished. Once you've done a Frontier file, you'll never have to map it again. The next time this supplier sends you an inventory file, you're simply going to drag it over and it's going to run just immediately like we just saw, okay? Now, once the file's completed, you come over here to the download column, you click the drop down, and it's going to give you three things to look at. The original supplier file that we uploaded, so that's always available to you. A resultant file, and this would give you a downloaded resultant file. Okay, so you're going to get a spreadsheet that you can open in Numbers or Excel or whatever your favorite spreadsheet program is. Or we can do some on-screen analysis. Let's go ahead and do that first. Okay, and what I want to point out while this is loading up is Wholesale Inspector has something called Intelligent UPC Correction. So if some of your identifiers, your UPC codes were, say, missing the leading zeros, Wholesale Inspector will put those right in for you. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. We'd already talked about how it does the smart file maps. It doesn't require any, specific type of a file. Just upload and tell it what's what, which column is what. And as you'll see, we get results in no time. All right. So let's just take a quick look here at this on-screen version of what we're looking at. It's all scrollable, so you'll be able to see all of the columns that you want to see. You're able to filter out certain things. For example, if this one doesn't have stock, you can just take the stock column out, right? If you don't care about images or whatever, you can just select that on the filter and actually save this filter map, if you will, by going over here. You can just create your own filters, right? So all of the filters that you've made will be here in your Wholesale Inspector account for you to use time and time again, all right? So it's got some pretty cool things in it, and the Amazon link is one of them. For example, if you want to go just see what this, and actually everything's all crunched up right now. I'm going to zoom out just a little. I know you guys are going to hate that, but there, I think that's a little bit better. I think you guys can still see the gist of what's going on here. If you want to see what this firming serum actually looks like, you just boom, hit that A button for the Amazon link, and you are at the product page. All right. I don't know why, but just something that simple just really makes me giggle. I just love how easy that is. I'm looking at my data and I'm like, I wonder what this product page looks like. Boom, and there you are. All right. So I don't know about you. I think that's cool. It brought in all the data from the supplier file, which was the identifier, the cost, our cost, and supplier SKU, and then the title. All right. And then everything else is getting calculated based on the data that Wholesale Inspector brought in. For example, if Amazon is saying there's so many in a pack, it's going to bring that in. And we can change things based on what our supplier tells you. If you want to take a quick look, boom. You don't even have to go to the page. It'll say, hey, this is what the thing looks like. So if you need some quick confirmation, there it is, right there, images, right in your resultant file. The Amazon title is right there. So if you needed to confirm anything. See, notice how in the title, this used to screw a lot of people up. It was called we called it ASIN mismatches, because what would happen is people would do their analyzation based on what the supplier was saying was a 1 lot, right? But in fact, Amazon was selling a 12-pack. Well, our program is smart enough to know that, and it bought in the Amazon pack quantity right here. It's telling you, hey, what's being offered for sale is a 12-pack or a 2-pack. All right. Now, some of you, I would guess right now, are just getting a little giddy in your seat because you've probably been hammered by this error once or twice in the past, and it is no fun. All right. So now you don't even have to worry about it. Wholesale Inspector's got your back. Right. The ASIN's there. The total cost, the buy box price, and then the gravy starts to roll in. All right, we start to get our profit, our ROI, and our margin calculations. Now, just like any kind of spreadsheet, you're able to sort. So people that like to sort by profit, no problem. Okay, you can filter out for things like if you want profits greater than, someone said they can never find anything that has a profit greater than $5. Well, boom, okay, there it is right there. All kinds of profits greater than $5, but it's only important if the margins may be in excess of 20%. So we have the, or the ROI. So we have those ROI set in, and you can also filter those, change the size of the columns, sort just that fast, and then filter out what you don't want to see. Okay, so now by just pressing that button a couple of times just on the column header, we've been able to sort by highest profits, highest ROI. Actually, we're at highest ROI right now. So you can do the same thing with the margin. Just boom, boom, there's your highest margins, your ROIs, and your profits. Then you can go through, start doing your vetting. This looks like a pretty good file, by the way. I think I'm going to do some buying from here later. It brings in the BSRs. So again, if you want to sort by BSR, and you can also filter out all the zeros, right? So let's see, let's go to the filter, and let's say we want things greater than 0. So anything that's coming back with a 0 is now gone, and then we can do the regular sort and find our low BSR products that have high profits, high ROI, and high margins. How long did that take me? Do you see how fast it just spits out the data? All right, so we got some new cool points here, data points that we're going to be activating shortly. Percentage time profitable, right? The Amazon in stock rate. So if you're finding a product and Amazon is on it, don't you want to know the percentage of time that they're actually in stock? Because you might be willing to have a go at it if it's 10, 15, 20% of the time, but if it's not, you want to stay away. We're going to be able to show you that, all right? How about if Amazon's the only seller? Sure, you're going to be able to know that too, all right? The number of sellers on that listing and the estimated sales per month we're going to be activating shortly for you also, all right? It tells you the number of competitive sellers, because it doesn't do anybody any good to go on a listing where there's a bunch of competitive sellers. Wow, this is just one amazing file. I think I'm going to be doing some work when we get done here, all right? And again, you're able to take out the columns you don't want to see just to make things a little easier on your eyes. Now, a lot of you notice these colors here, okay? You can actually make your own color bands. So for example, let's say if you don't want to deal with products that have high costs, okay, we can go ahead and create a color band and actually define it. So let's just say cost over $50, okay? So we're going to select our column, let's say cost. I'm going to assign a color, let's make it red, okay? And we're going to say greater than our $50, right? So, and anything else you want to add to that, like if you wanted to do multiple filters, you're able to do that. Let's add that color band. Color band has been created. see what I need to do to activate it. Oh, yeah, I got to select it. And there it is. So when our cost now is in excess of $50, we're going to know right away. Let's see if we can do some magic here. Oh, you can pin this column too. So if you want it pinned to the left or the right so that you're not having to deal with all of the scrolling, you can put whatever columns you want right next to each other. This whole thing is completely sortable, all right? So it looks like there's only 5 items on this list where the cost is in excess of $50. I am falling in love with this file. We have out of stock exclusions. So if the supplier is giving you stock in their inventory file, anything that's a 0, boom, it can just be taken, filtered right out. Just remove it from your results. We also have prep cost calculations. So you're able to input some data because prep costs can be significant expense, right? So we allow you to accurately account for those costs. Same with inbound shipping costs, storage fees. I mean, it's all in here. You're able to figure out exactly what your true net profit at the SKU level is going to be. Plus we have the camel, and the keep links, okay? So if you guys like these types of data points, you're able to instantly access it right from the tool. You don't have to go to Amazon and install the Keepa and look at it on the product page. You have it all here right together, all right? And when you've decided that you want to maybe make a buy on that product, all you have to do is hit the Add to Seller Central link here. And if you're logged in to your Seller Central, it'll take you right to the Add a Product page, and you're going to be able to figure out if you're restricted in any way whatsoever on that product before you send the purchase order to the supplier, right? These links are just real cool, and it's just another way that Wholesale Inspector saves you time, right? We do a lot of advanced competitor analysis. I mean, knowing the competitor allows you to assess whether, you know, your sales are going to be good and what your profits are going to be. You're also able to schedule these files. So if you always want to run a file, let's say once a week, right? Just tell Wholesale Inspector what time and day of the week that you want that file to run, and it'll do it for you. It's right under here under Scheduled Files. You just click New, right? And then bring your file in like I had done earlier. Let me go ahead and move this over here. I'll grab another one. Let's see here. Bear with me 1 second. All right, drag that in. Let's say I want to run this one every Thursday. I can set my time. Let's make it noon. So every Thursday at noon, it's going to go. Hit the schedule button. It saves that, and boom, you don't even have to think about it. That file runs all by itself. You're able to get emails. So every time the file does run, it tells you. It'll say, hey, the file just ran. Either click here to download the results, or you can come in here and play with the results like we were doing with the view products. Okay. You can also you can also email multiple recipients. So let's see here. So if you had like a team that you wanted to see these results, then it will let them know. Absolutely no problem that those files are ready. Okay, so these color bands I absolutely love. The scheduling, the intelligent multi-pack correction, and you can run more than one file at a time. All right, so if we wanted to drag and drop just a bunch of files all at once, you know, it will just keep going and going. There's one. There's two. Oh, hold on. There's two, right? Here, let's send this one. This one's huge. It's got like 50,000 SKUs in this one. Boom. Away it goes. Okay. Just goes and goes and goes. All right. So you don't have to do one at a time. You can review data in your results, pick the metrics that are important to you, and determine whether or not a product is something that you should buy. All right. The profit calculation on this thing is just killer. I mean, that's what it's all about. I think you would agree. And the amount of the number of years, programming hours, and dollars that have gone into making this thing as amazing as it is would just melt your face, right? You get to take advantage of this without having to have that level of investment. But trust me, once you try this, it's going to be something, I warn you right now, you're not going to want to live without it, okay? The ease that it's going to allow you to choose the winning products is just going to make you giggle. It's just going to be so silly. All right. So for those of you that do want to take advantage, let's see. You just can go to wholesaleinspector.com and make sure you use the coupon code EE2019. You're going to get a special 25% lifetime discount. Okay. So Chris, you still with me, buddy?
Fantastic. Fantastic work, as usual. I was busy in the chat box. Good ideas. Most of the time, all I've seen is amazing. Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Anyone that has seen any versions of this before, sometimes the cliche, you don't know what you got, right? If someone really doesn't know what they're seeing, like, that's kind of cool. If you've never seen a car before and you see a super tricked out Ferrari, you may be like, oh, that's a car. Okay, like point A, point B, I got you. But if you're used to, a wheelbarrow moving yourself around, and then all of a sudden you see that Ferrari, that's a different game. So kind of a different perspective where you're coming from. Overall, though, you're going to have to trust us and many of the users. This represents so much time, money, effort, and it is a game changer for a lot of people. So appreciate the feedback, everybody. Looks fantastic. Thanks so much for that. And amazing. Yeah, that's totally right. Really, really good stuff there. So great work as usual, Todd. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for the impetus for that. And that's a great discount for all you guys out there. I think that's Gary, amazing upgrade for sure. Some people had a problem with the coupon code. That's all right. If it is, please send a support ticket in. So it seemed to be working for most, but it's technology. Every once in a while, things will kind of throw up on themselves. So if anybody has a problem, just put a support ticket in. But I think that's most of what we wanted to cover, man. What other questions do we have? That the purchase, just wholesaleinspector.com. That's the easiest way to get there, and then you can put in your coupon codes. Any other specific questions to the tool? There's some training in there. Of course,
it's kind of funny. I mean, I'm looking at these questions, and to get to a real question, I have to scroll through all the holy cow.
I know.
This is amazing, fantastic. Oh my gosh, amazing with 3 exclamation marks.
Yeah, Craig wants to know what's the 100% discount coupon code. Yeah, that one got lost in the mail, Craig. I'm looking for that one. I'm looking for that one.
My favorite comment so far is Kevin with "Holy shite, Batman." Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's the majority of the questions. Yes, if someone has please just put a quick support ticket in. No problem at all. But everything right now looks awesome. Karam, you guys are amazing, and your products too. Well, that's quite nice. Thank you so much. Working in the internet world, sometimes it feels like you're just a human punching bag. So when people say nice things, I like nice things. So that's awesome. Let's see. I think that's the majority of the questions. If there's specific tech questions or problems that you're finding, I don't see many of them. But as always, just put in that support ticket, because stuff happens. Like with anything, we want to make sure we're all over that and make sure you guys are.
I see one area of confusion. Someone, we're using the term 20% off the lifetime discount. There's no lifetime access option. It's you get the 20% off for your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? It's a month-to-month type of a program, or you can pay annually, but you can't pay lifetime because we don't know how long you're going to be around.
Yeah, right? That's fair.
Okay.
25% off on that per month charge or the year. But yes, for someone for lifetime, that is a funny thing. I'm sure there were battles in some court somewhere saying, well, you said lifetime. I think that was a funny thing I saw about funny tangent, but Burt Reynolds talked about that when he got that Trans Am for that movie he was in. He said, "Oh, you get a car for a lifetime, every year for a lifetime." So he didn't get his car one year. After like 3 or 4 years, went to the CEO and called him up, and they said, "Yeah, that's the lifetime of that guy, not you." And the CEO had passed away. So I guess it's always whose lifetime, right? So Todd's right on point. Not your lifetime. I don't know what's going on there. Or in fairness, again, the tool itself, we do have new versions that come out. This one is such a speed demon and fantastic version. Waddy said it well. So much better than the UPC tool. Yep. There's just a lot of great stuff there that is so much better, and we're going to improve it. But we finally, for as I mentioned at the beginning, put this out for folks that becomes available because of the power, speed, and ability to really generate some substantial profits quickly. We wanted to get it out to a few more people that were saying, it's great, man, but that's a lot to invest, and I actually don't really need the training because I'm kind of rocking and doing my own thing and don't need that as much as I just need the tool. Well, here we go. And you guys, part of the development, really feedback through the past couple of years has been important to us, and that's exactly why we want to provide you guys with a lifetime discount on your membership, because that matters to us. You know how important you as a community are to both Todd and myself. You help lead the way and pioneer and do some head scratching and frustration sometimes, admittedly, and all of it has gone into developing a really spectacular tool. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, Waddy. Trying to make that happen. Yeah, for sure. So I think that's it, Todd. I think we're good. Thank you, everybody, for the time. We're back-to-back days. For those that saw us yesterday, thank you so much. That was fun. For those that came tonight, awesome. And onward and upward. Build that business. Implement. Try forward. Try fast. Fail forward and fail a lot, because you do enough failing, man, them good results come out afterwards. So keep at it. Keep up the great work. Communicate with us whenever you can. If you got questions, problems, let us know. Join our community as always, and keep us up to date with what's going on. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.